My name is Bob, original surfer, mash up Kōkua Hanzu, aka Magic One, Ding Dong. Them never see me cut back and think, cause they don't know Bob, that you know Bob. Original surfer, they don't know him from him a little youth. I mash up Kōkua Hanzu, cause they don't know Bob, that you know.
When I was learning to surf, everybody used to paddle out and everybody had their own lineup. That's how it was done in Jamaica back in the 60s and 70s. You used to have a lineup. Everybody would paddle out and they say, okay, that tree against that fence post, that's my lineup. Somebody else pick another lineup. And then when the set approached, anyone who was closer to the peak, everybody else would shout and just say, go Billy, yours, you know, or go Ralphie, yours, or, you know, go Dan, you get that one, that's yours over there. You know, nobody used to paddle around people and try and outmaneuver to get into position. We just basically sat in our lineup and wait for the wave that would come to us.
I don't want surfing to be every beach you go to is a big hotel, elevator and pool and all them things. I don't want that. I want to pitch a tent and, you know, jump on the beach and catch a fire and, you know, roast two fish and go ride some waves with your friends. That's the vibe. I don't want, if surfing lose that vibe, if surfing never had that vibe, it would have hard for me to get started, you know?
You can I'm not sure exactly what year I met Cunningham. I just met him on the beach. He was working in the lifeguard tower at Pipeline.
My name is Mark Cunningham. I'm 47 years old, pushing 50. Lived and lifeguarded at Ehukai Beach Park, home of the world-famous bonsai pipeline, for about 20 years. Started living and lifeguarding out there the winter of 1976. Surfing's more popular than ever. And more people are in the water and the lineup in the beach. And it gets a little tense out there in the water and lineup sometimes. So I sort of feel like a voyeur out there, sort of watching what goes on out in the lineup, not just the surfing, but all the games that get played and all the jockeying and positioning and hassling and hustling and game playing and head trips that go on out there. It's pretty interesting. It's sort of nice being off to the side and you sort of kick in position and find your lineup or the wave that's going to push you for a while or give you the glide that you can find.
He was like the big brother looking out for us. And Mark used to grab us and say, okay, come with me. It was almost like he'd grab us by the ear and like drag us back to his little shack and give us a pair of swim fins. A lot of times it'll be super crowded and there won't be many waves. Like the beginning of a swell will be real inconsistent. So I might go body surf and, you know, inevitably Mark's going to be out there. You don't take anything for granted, and you ride the wave as far as you can. You know, you don't kick out because the barrel stopped. You realize, you know, how much room there is out there, even with all the people.
There are so many waves to ride, you know. We all don't have to have the best wave or the best set or the best swell of the session kind of deal. There are so many sketch waves that will still give you a lot of fun. It's just body surfing. It's just swimming. It's not rocket science. It's a beautiful, elegant diversion.
First time we ever met was actually in Florida at a trade show in like '82.
Well, I don't know. I mean, this kid was like, they were sending me this kid. I don't know, it was something, Kelly Slater or something. I'm like, oh, okay, no.
You guys were laughing at me because I was so small.
Yeah. I got one kid. I'm gonna take another one. You know, babysit. Who's this guy?
It worked out good, though, because I got to babysit a lot while you played music and surfed.
Do you remember that, Tom?
No.
1, 2, 3, 4.
From us being kids, there was such this fascination with watching Curren surf from up close, and to have him actually show up on a trip. He's such a humble, nice guy.
Yeah, Tom's Tom, you know, and yeah, that was pretty interesting when he started chopping his fin in half. You know, just hacksawing his fin to pieces. He's just looking for new things, new feelings.
Without the restrictions of a, you know, contest and points and losing a heat on them, to just watch them go off, they were going crazy. They were having fun. It was so neat to watch. I think it's that old W.C. Fields quote, I don't know if I'd want to be a member of a club that would have me as a member.
These guys are lucky I don't own a board.
There's a color and a shape to the night. I'm not surprised you never wanted me to notice. When the darkness is covering and coveting everything, I can feel it in my hands. I try to hold it, but it slips away. Down to the sand, and all that's left at dawn is ashes. No more blood or bones, and the green sun in my heart, although it's always burning, never keeps me warm. I'm always riding in its flames. Something dear, and if you try, I'll try not to explain. Open up your window to the world if you want the world to bring you happiness and
a lot of times it's the youngest kids who are affected by it, and they're the ones who are grabbing onto it and going out and writing just broken pieces of whatever they can find. The future of surfing is going to come from places that you least expect.
All the fight, mama fight against the Rasta.
Yeah. That's how we used to just
say. Mama fight against Rasta, but when it comes to our sons, you know, they put that.
That's cool, no, man. You think it's coming like my mom, you think anyone can tell him things? Oh, la la la, la 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 la. When I was a young boy, used to go to church every Sunday.
We have good waves and we have kids who are inside of them. They want to be good. They want to have a chance to be as good and to learn and to express themselves. That's why Jamaica name will rise up in surfing. So make them see them joyous occasion there. You know what I'm saying? And understand what a joy it is to interact with nature. Take their mind off of the street. Take their mind off of violence. Make them be more concerned about when the next swell is coming, rather than how they want to break into the corner store for rip something off. You know what I mean?
What a beautiful feeling.
There's a lot of kids right out in Bull Bay that never had no future, and since them start hanging out with Billy and thing, them see a whole new world, and they're like 12 years old and they don't have nothing really, you know. And Billy's just come over to the house, you know, come surf with me and just, you know, come fix the boards when the boards need to be fixed. Him still lay down the laws, you know, he make them know, say, yo, if your board ding, go fix it, don't just go ride it and wreck it, or take another one and wreck it down to that, you know what I mean?
It reminds me of the first 5 years that I surfed, and it was just like you go down to the beach with your friends and your brothers and your family and post up, and you have your food over here and a few boards, and there was like boogie boards and surfboards and a pair of flippers, you know, and you come down to the beach and all just hang out.
Living in a world without love, or and clapping foot, stomping music, for us to get together every now and then. Sing a song of love for the children to learn. Whoa, 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 la la la.
Billy's he's like one of the only people in Jamaica, one of the only people still surfing that was surfing from the older days. And he's the one that has kept it alive.
Bodyguard. Yeah, I tell them all, I was just when you see all that, say, yes, Billy. Get it.
Billy told me that they were going to be in Ecuador, and he said that they could use some help. You know, they were going over there to surf in the World Contest, and that maybe I could come over and help a little bit, coach the team or something like that. I was like, oh my God, there's nothing I'd rather do than go hang out with those kids again, you know. It was like a done deal. I booked my ticket and took off to Ecuador.
Ecuador, bro, that was so stoked, bro. Dan was our coach, man. We all made it through heats. You know, never made it through an international heat yet, and make it through that heat. And Dan was like really rooting us on, man. Trust me, it was wicked.
And the kids from Jamaica showed up. There were 7 of them, and between them, I think they had 5 surfboards. Really, the Jamaican team's victory was just being at the event. They were just stoked to be there. I think it really enabled them to go home with that sense of pride. You know, they left Ecuador knowing the mission was complete, you know, 21st in the world. Jamaica, who would have ever thought?
My dreams suddenly seem so empty. I couldn't go it on my own. Do I feel like my ending?
I was staying at Manoa Drole's grandmother's house, and this giant swell hit Tahiti, and the waves were breaking so violently. You know, I saw waves just coming in and just these huge gaping barrels that were just spitting water like 100 feet in the air. And I had a whole day that I wasted because we were sort of doing other things. There was a contest on, and this wave started breaking. Manoa had seen it break before, but he had never seen it like this. We had about an hour or two before dark, and I was absolutely floored to hear that no one had surfed it before. We all looked back deeper from where we were sitting, and we saw this wave, and it was just this perfect barrel, and the barrel was as wide as it was tall, and it peeled for like 100 yards, but it was this section of reef where it was kind of closing out. there's still those waves out there. There's still plenty of places that you can go find, and they haven't been surfed on the right swell. They haven't been seen on the right day with the right equipment, with the right, frame of mind. That was just one of those days. We got lucky.
And the sun, it may be shining, but there's an ocean in my eyes, 'cause I know that this is goodbye.
Jack was really young, and he was the youngest, and watching his two brothers grow up, and Jack's time came, and his dad Jeff built their house down there at the pipeline, so I'd see him out there a lot. He was on the shoulder end, and I was on the other end, the deep end. I'd catch a wave and come through them at the end, and they'd all be sitting there, and his gang were just checking it out.
When I was 17, I was invited to be in the trials for the Pipeline Masters, and it was a pretty big deal for me. It was as far as I dreamed at that point, and I was as nervous as you could be. And then when we found out that I got to be in Gerry Lopez's heat, it was my first heat, that was a really big deal. And I remember sitting on the beach, putting my leash on, watching the waves before the first heat in the morning, and Gerry came walking up and stuck his board in the sand and sat down next to me, and everybody else was in like a real competitive mood, and kind of a lot of ego around the contest and everything. But Gerry looks over and he's like, "Hey Jack, you ready to share some waves out there?"
Simplicity. What is there to know? Oh, this is what it is. Oh. simplicity.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, thanks for the
I don't have any shitty friends. Life's too short. That's a quote right there. I don't have any shitty. You hear that quote? Yeah, that's right.
Life's too short for shitty friends.
Actually, I have one.
Yeah.
Well, I think one of the big lessons you learn about surfing is how to operate in the present. That's really what the foundation of the entire surfing experience is.
Yeah, there's not really a fine line that you cross. It's kind of a slow fade where you go from being a grom and just being in the learning phase, you know, and looking up to people like Gerry, having information going into your head, and then at some point you realize that you're not really that same grom, you know, you're somewhere in between, and it's your responsibility to start passing on that same way of being to the younger kids.
Por años mi padre me ha dicho historias de gringos que vagueaban por el desierto. Él dice que los ve flotando en el mar por días, mientras las langostas y corvinas se burlan de ellos del fondo del mar. Mis amigos y yo hemos aprendido a correr las olas en las tablas viejas que han dejado los hombres que corren las olas. Cuando nuestro trabajo está terminado, mi padre nos deja correr las olas, pero siempre nos recuerda que primero somos y vamos a ser pescadores y que no podemos comer oro falso de menso.
Based on MIFF, we spent 2 weeks looking for this wave that somebody had seen from a distance. We ended up driving for nights and days and sleeping in the car and getting lost in the desert for a little bit. We got to the coast finally. We went out to what we thought was the spot. As we could tell, the swell was dropping fast and it didn't look like it was going to be what we thought. And we kind of started to lose a little bit of hope. We were all kind of wondering what we should do, if we should pack it up and call it a day and get back home and keep going, or if we should stick it out just a little bit longer and hope that that next swell would arrive.
Había un día en el verano pasado que voy a tener en mi memoria por mucho tiempo. Después de la escuela nos sentamos en la cumbre del cerro hasta que oscurió, mirando a los gringos que se paseaban en las olas grandes del verano. Hasta mi padre vino con nosotros a mirar las olas de ese día. Nos dice que no tenemos la edad para seguir el pez con él. Pero cuando ya tenemos la edad, deberemos de traer nuestras tablas de surfear. Yo sé que somos pequeños ahorita y nuestras tablas están viejas, pero algún día nuestro día llegará.
Doing something for the first time in life, you know, the first time you do anything, the first time you read a book, the first time you take a step, all the great first things you ever do in life, you know, they're always the most exciting probably the first time you do them. In the way we surf now, all the surfers around the world all try to push each other and do something more and more, but I think it's really hard just to go out and just pick up your board and go surfing and ride waves and still get that same excitement. It has to be about something else. It has to be about, you know, what you're giving back or how you're enjoying it, who you're sharing it with. And, you know, when you see young kids around the world go surfing and you just see them get in the water and it's like that purity all over again. It's like, this is fun, and that's all it is.
It was a crazy trip because I consider the group that I was with to probably be some of the best surfers in history. But at the same time, what we were seeing in front of us was the future. And it was these kids riding these broken surfboards and having more fun than anyone.
Spark of life that pass from one to another. You pass the spirit, your spirit through your son, through your son, through your son, son, daughter, 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 son, son, son. And be able to go out there and get in the water and feel stoked, you know, and feel the joy that it brings to stand on the wave and walk into land.
There's like 100 surfers in the world, and when I'm older there's gonna be like twice as many because it's so fun.
The number of surf riders keeps growing and growing, and we cling to our tried and true, and you know, we're creatures of comfort, and we find our patterns and stick to what we know best. But there's a big, wide, beautiful world out there. For those that want it, it's out there.
Don't talk, don't say nothing. I've just packed my things and I'm headed for something. Where I'm going, well, I don't really know. The road is calling, so I've got to go. Yes, the road is calling, so I've got to go. We bid farewell as the winds blew like hell. It said we'd meet again like some storybook tale, but no, we don't.
I think wave riders have to be reminded how lucky they are to be be performing in that venue, to be playing, recreating, dancing, whatever it is surfing is.
The road was calling and I was on my way. Yes, the road was calling and I was on my way.
Some people, you know, they're just going to be grumpy, and I only like it how it used to be, but nothing ever stays the same. You can't build fences around life, and it's just this ongoing process, and all you got to do is just keep paddling. Simple. There's always going to be another wave coming.
Don't talk, don't say nothing. Just grab my things and pretend like
night long, all night. There's a Brokedown Melody for the Woodshed. I hope this old train breaks down, then I could take a walk around. You see, there's no time, you see, 'cause time is just a melody. With all the people in the street walking fast as the feet can take them, I just roll through town. And though my window's got a view, but the frame I'm looking through seems to have no concern for now. So for now I need this here old train to break down. Oh, please just let me please break down. Well, this engine screams out loud, centipede gonna crawl westbound. And I don't even make a sound, 'cause gonna sting me when I leave this town. And all the people in the streets that'll never get to meet, these tracks don't bend somehow. And I got no time that I got to get to where I don't need to be. So I need this here old train to break down. Oh, please just let me please break down. Break on down. I gotta break on down. But you can't stop nothing if you got no control of the thoughts in your mind that you kept. And you know that you don't know nothing, but you don't need to know. The wisdom's in the trees, not the glass windows. You can't stop wishing if you don't let go of the things that you find and you lose. And you know you keep on rolling, put the moment on hold, put the frames too bright, put the blinds down low. I need this old train to break down. Oh, please just let me please break down. I need this old train to break down. Oh, please just let me just break down. Oh, let me break on.